Hello and welcome to another special interview edition of Death Talk by Metal's Prick Up Your Ears. So if you don't know by now, I'm your host Gary Grimm. I decided at the end of 2020 to talk to some of the people behind some of the best metal releases of the year. And look, I know 2020 is over now and people want to try to forget it. A lot of people are preparing themselves for the year to come, which is to be a shit show, and a lot of people think that like the virus and the pandemic follow the calendar, like it's not some kind of man-made construct. Like the virus is saying, oh, if we don't get them all by 2021, we're just going to give up or something like that. I don't know. People are weird. You're weird. I'm weird. We're all weird. But I still have a few interviews left from 2020. This is the second last one. It's with Thomas Eriksen from Norwegian black metal band Mork. And he was super friendly and fun to talk to, and you can see the interview now. Joining me now from Norway is Thomas Eriksen from the black metal band Mork. Welcome, Thomas. Thank you for taking the time to join me today.
Thank you. Where are you broadcasting from? Is it Australia?
Yeah, Sydney, Australia.
Wow.
It's 7:30 in the morning at the moment.
Oh man, it's like almost bedtime over here.
Yeah.
It's the other way around the world, you know.
Time zones are crazy. I just wanted to say congratulations on the Pesta EP. It's a great track, Pesta, and really fitting for the times that we're going through at the moment. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with the artwork of Theodore Kittelsen, who his art inspired the track? Did you
Yeah,
discover him through the black metal albums of the 90s or before that, or how did you go about finding him?
you know what? I suppose since I'm a Norwegian guy, you know, and I grew up as a Norwegian kid, I suppose I saw his art way before I got into black metal. So I guess I saw it as a child, you know, and it has always been creepy, you know. It's a bit eerie and it's a bit dark, and with the skeleton in the road and you know, the blackbirds and ravens and shit. It's always been touching those emotions inside me. So when I finally found my way into black metal and heard, you know, Bursum and stuff. I don't know if you're going to bleep out the word Bursum, but it's in a bit
No
of.
way.
But you know what? I'm the kind of guy who I separate the art from the artists, you know, or from the person, because I'm not into any political views or anything like that. To me, it's 100% music and atmosphere. So back to the story. You know, I saw his artworks using the Kittles and stuff, and that alongside the music, just pure magic. And this summer, I was on a road trip of Norway, which I try to do as soon as I have the opportunity to do so, because it's a beautiful country and I'm really proud of it. And you know, with the valleys and mountains and everything, it's something special. So on the way, I think it was the last day during the trip, we went through a valley called Eggedal, and nearby a city called Sigdal, where actually Theodor Kittelsen used to live. And he lived in the valley around 1900, you know,
Mhm.
just on the break between 18 and 1900, and that's the time he made his works for the book Svartedauden, which is the Black Plague. So he made drawings. All the Bursum drawings you've seen and the famous ones is actually from that book. After some research, I found out that a couple of those drawings or the motifs are actually based on real places. You
Oh
know,
wow.
I'm an artist myself, and I just figured he just made stuff up in his head, you know. But he actually sat and drew a specific room and a specific hallway with the stairs and all that and the bed, you know. So when I found out that that was actually still there, I got in touch with the owners of that particular farm, and I got to come back there a week later and have a photo shoot because that was a must for me, you know, go in there. And I remember I brought my good friend Daniel Pedersen. He has his company is called Punk Rock Photo. I use him quite a lot for photography. I brought him over there. I brought my girlfriend over there and her children in the car, like a road trip, you know. And the
Nice.
sun was shining. We stopped in the yard there in front of the building, and I got out and I said hello to the owner and the people there. And I got into my corpse paint get up. It was total comedy, you know. But the pictures became really great.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. And the
Yeah.
Black Plague, a perfect subject for what we're going through at the moment. Uh, so, what was the reason, though, behind including the other tracks, like those particular tracks, the two live tracks and the cover of Bosum's Valen?
Mm. No, you know what? I have actually done a cover of that same track before, but it's
Acoustic one, was it?
no. I did actually a full-on metal cover
Oh, right.
with all 9 minutes of it. That's I think that's featured on the CD version that Peaceville gave out of my debut,
Right.
Isebakke. That's a full on the whole track, you know. But a couple of years later on, I think it was actually earlier this year, I did the acoustic cover, which is basically the three first minutes of the song, you know.
Oh,
Because to me, the song, what hit me the most when I first heard that track was his choruses. And during the first part of the song, you have a couple of verses and a couple of choruses. So I just made my own kind of version of that, just chopping it after the second chorus. And that became the acoustic one. And I brought I actually recorded my acoustic guitar and my vocals in my own studio, pretty simple. And I brought it to my friend's house up at Kleiva Studio. It's the same studio where I used to mix all my albums. And my good friend there, the engineer, Freddy Holm, he has to be the most talented musician I know. He can pick up every instrument in the world and just handle it well, you know. And he has the later years he's gone into the strings, you know, with the cello and the big stand-up basses and the violins. So he plays all those stuff, you know, and he was like, I will put that on your track here. So it became beautiful, you know. So I obviously I needed to have that included on something. And since Peaceville actually went with me on the idea of doing this EP, a couple of B-sides is needed, you know.
sure. Sure. Were
Opportunity to use,
those?
and we used live tracks basically. That's more or less a filler kind of thing. But
I
since
see.
we never released much live stuff, that's a cool thing to have in there, you know. Those two tracks are actually live. Let's see. I think that might have been the very last real show we did before COVID. So that's recorded live at a festival in Oslo in January this year.
Oh, not Inferno.
No, that was it's a bit smaller one at it's a venue called Blå, which is
Ah, yeah.
by the river Oslo, and the festival is called Orgium Satanicum, and it's like a 2 day thing. And we played there once before, also. I think it's quite cool, a bit more true, you know.
Speaking of live shows, you guys did a live stream earlier this year. What was that experience like? Was it strange without a crowd there, or I mean, there were crew and stuff like that, but I saw you guys at Inferno Fest in 2019, and you definitely fed off the energy of the crowd and were kind of giving back the energy that you were getting. So was it strange not really having that for the live stream?
Did you go to that show, by the way?
I was there, yes.
At John D? All
Yes,
right.
that's right.
Thank you very much, sir.
I
That
came
was,
to the signing as well that you guys did for the album.
oh, at the record store.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Now, let's see. That was a great show, by the way. It was a great weekend because it was actually the release weekend for the last album, you know. So that's
That's
that's a
amazing.
great one.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The live stream. Yeah, we actually did several this year. I think we have done maybe 3 live streams this year. But
Oh
the
wow.
first one was the special one, of course, with a full. We had a camera team, we had our sound man there, we had lighting, and our own venue. It was strange, but at the same time, I was kind of aware that the audience was inside the cameras there. So
Sure.
I kind of played for you guys anyhow, you know. And you know, as a band, you rehearse every week, you know. There's no audience there. So it was a bit more, I don't know. It was a concert to me. And what the cool thing about that experience was that I think, oh, this is a long way back now. It was in March or something, wasn't it? Or April?
Uh I
Can't
think it
remember.
was, yeah, March or April, one of those.
Yeah, I don't remember the numbers, but I think there was in the tens of thousands views.
That's excellent.
It's awesome, and people were donating to us, which is awesome. We really appreciate that, obviously. And the really cool thing was that we did this Q&A afterwards,
I know, I saw that, yes.
and that was supposed to be like, I don't know, half an hour. But I thought it was so much fun that we kept going for a couple of hours. I think, you know, just interacting with the people.
That's great.
It was a great experience to do that actually. But I would like to go back to normal now.
That would be good. Well, going back to normal, I see that you guys have been confirmed for Vakin 2021.
Sure.
So, regardless of whether it can go ahead or if it's going to be a streaming or if it's going to be live or whatever happens, how does it feel to be part of this legendary festival?
The story goes that we actually we were on the poster this year.
Right.
So they
And
announced us last year, but that was amazing. You know, I don't know. The first time I went on stage with Mork as a live band,
mhm.
Wacken was a goal. You know, and I think 4 years ago or something like that, my good friend, you know, Silenos from Dimmu Borgir,
Yep.
he has his death metal thing, Insidious Disease, that just released an album now. Just a little promotion for him. He was playing Wacken with that band, and he actually called me and, hey, you want to come with us and be a bear tech? So that was my first experience with Wacken and the backstage and how it all ran, you know, and it was excellent. And I got the urge I need to go there and play with my own thing, you know. So when that was announced last year, that was a big one for me, and it was a big letdown when COVID came around.
Yeah.
And you know, Wacken, they didn't just reschedule, they actually dropped everything and rebooked everything. So there was actually chances that we would not make it the second time around, you know. But luck would have it, we're back on.
Back on.
Yeah,
Excellent. So now Mork's name is linked with Vuk in some way or another, whether it happens or not, you're
of
there.
course. Now we are going to play there for sure. People are talking about vaccines and stuff now, you know, around, I don't know, Easter time. So
Uh-huh.
hopefully, you know, Fingers
Hopefully.
crossed, upside down.
I'll be wishing you luck. Just one last thing before we talk about 2020 releases. Your podcast, the Thomas Eriksen Podcast, that's
Yeah.
really taken off. You've had some amazing guests. Is there anyone that you haven't had on there that you would really like, or can you drop any hints as to maybe some upcoming guests that we can expect?
Um, I don't want to spill the beans on the upcoming ones, but
Understandable.
I can say who I want, who I wish to have on, you know, because
Sure.
it will probably never happen. So I can just as well just say it, you know. It would be amazing to have Varg on, you know,
Sure. Yeah.
just to try to pick his brain about the music thing.
Hmm.
But you know, I have some connections. You never know. But I couldn't. I don't believe he would accept. You know. But I got a few cool ones coming up, and let's say it like this: it's Norway is a small country, and the scene, or if you could call it a scene, the musicians, most of us know each other. You know. So about anyone can come on there if they feel like it. So I have a few cool ones coming up for sure. You do a podcast for yourself here, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
You're going for a long time.
We're going for about 3 years.
Yeah, so that's before COVID then.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
because the thing is, I have never done this before, and I remember the first weekend COVID struck Norway. That has to be early March or something.
Hmm.
I actually went out for a few beers, and I got back home here, and then we actually had our first of the shows canceled just the day after that. And I was just sitting here and what the fuck I'm going to do this year, you know? I need to fill the time or do something because
Hmm.
I'm kind of an ambitious guy, you know? And I have been into podcasts for a few years, you know? I think that's a cool thing and why not, you know? So it started that very night, me a bit semi-drunk, just speaking bullshit for half an hour, and that became the first episode. And then I just, you know, I my phone list is all right, so I just reached out to some friends, and here we are. You know, episode 22 came out today.
Wow. Amazing. Well,
That's cool.
congratulations on that and keep them coming. I really enjoy the podcast. It's great.
Thank you very much for listening. I'll try
uh,
to keep it long but interesting. You know.
Excellent. Always interesting, definitely.
Thank you.
So by the time this video comes out, you would have announced a new album. What can you tell us about it? What's it called? When is it expected to drop? And any themes or any plans for it so far?
Yeah, we on the 10th of December, Peace Wheel Records dropped the news on the fifth Mork album, which I'm really pleased about, you know, finally, because I've been working on that for a long while. And the album is called The Cathedral, and that translates to the cathedral in English.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, man, that's a musical journey for me because if you listen to all the Mork albums up to this point from the debut and go chronologically, you can actually hear the progression going on. That Isebakke, the first one, is a really primitive one, a really strict, primitive necro black metal album. And when you listen to the Svarte Juv that came out last year, it's a bit more loose. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The thing is that for each album, I tend to let myself loose more as an artist and creatively. You know, I don't hold back when an idea hits me. I just pour it out. So you can sort of say that I found myself within my thing, you know, that I'm not scared to blend in ideas into my music anymore. So this new album is even more like that, and I'm extremely pleased with it. It will be released, is it 5th or 6th of March next year? And
Great.
same day, we will have a huge release concert at the Rockefeller Music Hall in Oslo, probably with special guests.
Excellent.
On the album, I included a couple of friends of mine. I have a returning special guest, which is Nocturno Kelto of
Yes.
Dark Throne.
Of
Yeah,
the old doctor in
I'm
there.
there, buddy. Oh, Ted is a good friend of mine, and he came over here into my studio when we had a good time and a party, and we did the song that he's appearing on. And the same goes for my friend Dolk, which is the singer from Kampfar.
Oh, wow.
He does his own song on the album too. Same deal, came over here, we had a good time and did the track. And a special one for me is that back when I actually discovered extreme metal, I also found the genre funeral doom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you heard any of that?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah. And that's I found back then. This is many years ago. I found sound clips of a band called Skepticism.
Skepticism.
Yeah, check that out. It's a Finnish band, and I think they are actually credited as the fathers of funeral doom. And I remember listening to that, and it blew me away because it was so somber and eerie. You know, it's really slow and mournful, and really amazing. And it's like this church organ going on. And I actually, when I wrote the title track for the new album, it kind of built and built and built and became this epic thing. Nobody will hear that until March, obviously, because that's not one of the singles. But it's this big epic track, the longest one I ever wrote, and it has this really funeral doom-ish outro going on, where I actually decided to track down the organ guy from Skepticism.
Oh, wow.
And I'm kind of lucky. I don't know if you heard the band The Death Trip.
The Death Trip.
Yeah,
No, I don't believe so.
you should check that out. It's a British black metal band.
British
If you
black metal.
Yeah, if you like Burzum, it's kind of in that vein. It's a really excellent. It happens to be the band of the label manager of Peaceville.
Oh,
And
wow.
he asked me to play bass on their new album, which came out last year. I can't remember the title of the album right now. I'm so sorry about that, but you can find it if you Google it. I play bass on that, and that album and his band is actually released via a Finnish record label called Svart Records, which also has Skepticism. So that then I found a way around it, and I actually got hold of the guy, Iro, from Finland, which I got to hang out with in London, actually, because Skepticism, they never play concerts. It's really seldom. So just before COVID, I think it's only a few weeks before, I went to London for a weekend to catch one of the few rare shows of Skepticism, actually. And I got to hang out with Iro and meet him and have some beers and talk about my project. And he accepted my invitation, and now I have him on my record playing the organ.
Wow. That's crazy how everything kind of comes together like that, you know?
Yeah, for me, it's been a crazy journey like that, since I told you I found Funeral Doom, and then now he's a part of it, and I'm proud of that, and thankful. So excited about a new album, man, and hopefully you will check it out as soon as you can.
Definitely.
We will. I think I can spill the beans on this too. I guess it's in the announcement. There will be 3 singles, and the first one will be out in January.
In January.
Yeah.
What's the name of the first single there?
The first single will be Arv, which is translated to heritage.
Heritage. Nice.
And that's
Excellent.
a great groovy track. A bit personal track for me, since it's kind of based or inspired around the passing of my father, which happened 3 years ago. So this is kind of my final getting it out there in creative wise through this song, and I'm happy how it turned out, and that will be out with a music video and stuff like that.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. And hopefully, you will be able to see some actual live shows, live with an audience shows, following the release of the album as well.
I hope you got some Australian promoters listening to your stuff here, so we can maybe give them a little push.
I know a couple. I can pull some strings and get talking.
You should.
See what we can sort out for you.
We would love to come over there,
Oh
or down
man.
under there, how you put it.
Yeah, it's down right at the bottom of the map there.
There you
Uh,
go.
so far away from everything. It takes a long time to get here. So I hope you're ready for a long flight.
Hey, I have several friends who already played your country, and they say nothing but good things. So we would love to come over there.
Awesome. We'd love to have you too.
And when we come, we should go out for a beer.
Hey, I'm in.
Foster's, right?
Nobody drinks Foster's. Maybe
Isn't that
VB if
Australia?
you're desperate. It definitely is. But yeah, it's like an export beer. We
Oh,
send
there
it
you
out
go.
to the rest of the world.
It's all over the UK. There's
Yeah,
Foster's.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to England and it's like I've never seen Fosters here. I've never seen the
That's funny.
Fosters in Australia.
There you go.
It's VB if we're desperate for a beer, and then we've got a whole bunch of like craft beers and stuff like that.
Show me when we come over there. All right.
All right, I'll take you out. I'll take you out for a pub crawl.
Awesome. Awesome. You're in Sydney?
Sydney, that's right.
Oh, awesome. Great. Great.
So just one last question before I let you go to bed. Have you got a favorite metal release for 2020 or a number of releases or what have you got?
Oh man, you're asking the wrong guy. I'm living in my bubble. I can't even
Sure.
remember what happened yesterday. What did come out this year?
You were just talking about Silenoz's album.
Yeah, he released his album recently. That's cool. But I'm not very into death metal, so it's perhaps wrong of me to pull death metal out. But Insidious Disease just released an album, really awesome. It's a great band, and Cadaver is another Norwegian
Ah,
death
yes.
with friends of mine. Dirk Verburen of Megadeth, that's a buddy of mine, and Anders Odden, the main guy in that band. He plays in Satyricon also and Order. Great two albums there. I don't know, man. I
What have you been listening to this year? More the 90s black metal, or what's been tickling your fancy?
you know what? I'm listening a lot to old stuff. The last few days actually I've been listening a bit to older Pink Floyd stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm hugely into Creedence Clearwater Revival because that's from my dad. That's the heritage. And
Nice.
yeah, AC/DC released an album.
Ah, they did.
Yep, Down Under, right? No, I'm actually a lifelong AC/DC fan. That's my first
Excellent.
big love, and that will never leave me. Obviously, it's not the same as it once was, but I always appreciate it. So, Power Up, that's a cool one. Out of the blue, during COVID, AC/DC comes with an album. That's a funny one.
I never
So that's
expected that.
no, but it's kind of cool too. I miss Malcolm, and You know how it is. But Angus did it once before on Rock or Bust, right? Malcolm wasn't on that one either.
I don't think so, no.
So, he passed away and he got Alzheimer's, so he had to
Yeah.
quit in the middle of a tour or something. But, the rock stars get older.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah, I will get old too one day, but not yet.
Well, let's enjoy our youth while we still can. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Thomas. I'll let you get to bed because it's getting late over there, and I got to get to work because it's getting early over here.
Yeah, there you go.
But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Looking forward to seeing the album. Looking forward to seeing you in Australia someday.
Thank you
Thomas
very much.
from Mork. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.